Hello, hello. I hope you're all doing great today. It's a beautiful day here. It's about 55 degrees and sunny. A little bit windy, but back here in the trees it's not too bad. And my wife and kids are out of town. It's nice out. I was doing some schoolwork this morning, and then I decided, you know what? I can't waste the whole day inside. I'm gonna go do something fun. I'm gonna have an adventure. Now it's a little bit too early for morel mushrooms, but there is a chance that other mushrooms like oysters or lion's mane or even some gyrometra, they could be out. It's nice enough for those to be out. So we'll go exploring, and if nothing else, we'll find some good spots to come back to here in a couple weeks when the morels are growing. Now these plants here, I'm not entirely sure what they're called, but I have noticed that they come up about 3 weeks or so before the morels do. Here's some more. There's another one. 2 to 3, sometimes 4 weeks. So we are getting very close to morel season. I do apologize. There may be some wind noise or some leaf crunching noise. I've got the windsock on my medium mod for my camera, but it still doesn't cut out all the noise. I ordered I believe it's a Rode wireless Go system and a little lav mic that will clip on right here, and that way it'll be a lot better quality sound. But for today there may be some leaf crunching, some wind noise, that type of stuff, so please bear with that. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but you can kind of see how that tree right there is broken off and it's a fresh break, and that tree right behind it has just started to die as well. That is a prime location for morels, and so I'll definitely have to come back to this spot. I'll mark it on my GPS and I'll come back and check it again here in a couple weeks. Oh, I don't think I got my camera on in time. I was walking through these trees right here and there was 2 deer back there. Just took off, but I think I missed them. But anyway, this area right here, I found a boatload of mushrooms in last year, and I found them kind of late in the season, so a lot of them were already dried up. This is one of the last spots I went to, and so this will be one of the first spots I go to this year. Hope to find them when they're still fresh. I've had a few people ask me what gear I'm using, so I thought I'd kind of give a little bit of a rundown what I'm using today. I of course have my GoPro Hero 9 Black. I have the media mod attached to it. Currently I am using the floaty handle that came with it just because it has a soft grip on it, so it's much more comfortable to carry. But I do have my other tripod style. It's a collapsible stick, I guess you would call it, but the grip on it is just rubber, and when it's folded up it's not 100% comfortable to carry, and I can't expand it back here in the trees because it'll snag on everything. But I have it in my backpack just in case I need it. And speaking of which, that's my newest accessory for this year, is my backpack. It's a Teton Sports. It has a water bladder in it. I don't have it filled today. It's not that hot. I'm not that far from the vehicle. But when I go out further in the wilderness, I will for sure be taking that with me. And in that I have some extra batteries, an extra SD card, my charger, my light. I probably won't be out after dark today, so I probably won't need that. But that's the sort of stuff I grab for today. Now once mushroom season starts, I will have my mushroom bags with me as well. And I'll probably make another video, just a complete rundown of everything I have. And like I said, of course, I'll have my Rode mic, my wireless mic set up. That way it'll kind of cut out some of the leaf noise. I don't know if you can hear this, but as I walk around these trees, I'm sure you can probably hear some of those leaves crunching and that sort of stuff. And so I want to cut out that and make it sound a lot better. Now one thing this backpack does do with it, I've noticed, is it makes it a little bit more difficult to squeeze through tight places. It snags on all these branches. I'm sure it will get fairly torn up and it won't last as long as it probably should have, but you know, if I can get several years use out of it, it's worth it to me, just to be able to carry all my camera stuff with me and have the water bladder. That was one of the things I struggled with the most last year, was I was out hunting a lot and I was always getting thirsty and having to carry a water bottle with me, and it's kind of a pain to have to carry that in your hand, especially if you're crossing creeks and rivers and stuff like that. it's really hard to keep your balance and hold on to a water bottle and your mushroom bags and everything else at the same time. So where I'm headed now, oh, where is it? I marked it on my GPS. Somewhere back here, there is a tree that had oysters growing in it last year. So I'm just coming back to check it again this year. No luck. Last year there was a nice oyster growing on this tree. Oyster is a type of mushroom. I forget the exact name, but the common name is oysters. I found them this year and I found some last year. And they're a delicious mushroom. You can actually order kits if you're into mushrooms but you don't know where to go hunting for mushrooms, or you have kids that want to grow their own mushrooms. You can order kits, and I think some stores like Home Depot even sell them. And honestly, I think they're a little bit overpriced, but I'll probably buy one anyway just for my kids, because you can grow your own mushrooms at home and they do work. Now, don't order those kits that claim you can grow your own morel mushrooms, because those are fake. Those will not grow mushrooms, and they're like, oh, you didn't do it right, you can't get a refund. Those don't work. Morels are extremely finicky, and even scientists have a very hard time growing them. Now, one thing I did not bring today is a knife, which was kind of dumb on my part. I meant to grab it and I forgot. So if I do find any mushrooms, I will have to just pluck them, pinch them off with my fingernails, break them off, that type of stuff. Like I said, I really didn't expect to find any today. It is a little bit early in the season, but we'll see. Oh, I missed them again. Those two deer I saw earlier, they just crossed the path right here in front of me and took off into those trees. Hey, Mr. Robin. For whatever reason, that one doesn't want to fly away from me. He's just running away. Here's a nice little stream. Now, last year, at some point, it was 2 years ago, I believe, this stream flooded pretty bad and this whole area went underwater. So last year I did not find any mushrooms in this area, but I'm hoping it's had enough time to recover. Usually when an area floods, it doesn't grow mushrooms for at least a year. So I'm hoping this year they grow, but we will find out. I'm going to cross this sketchy bridge. Now, I'm crossing this bridge with my camera with my media mod on it. It is not waterproof when this media mod's on it. So the least you can do for me, since I'm doing this, is subscribe to my channel. Oh, here we go. If you subscribe to my channel, it'll all be worth it. There we go. Made it. I was joking, of course. You don't have to subscribe to my channel, but it really would make me happy if I could get up over 100 subscribers. I'm getting closer and closer. I started from complete scratch, and I've just been promoting it on Facebook, and that's about all I've been doing. And it's been slowly growing, slowly but steadily. And so please, if you enjoy these type of videos, exploring videos, junk car videos, and I take videos of all sorts of different things, and I want to keep expanding and finding all sorts of interesting things to show you guys. So if you enjoy this, please subscribe to my channel. Please like my videos. That helps the YouTube algorithms. Please comment. If you leave a comment, that really helps the algorithm too and shows it to more people. If you could please do that and tell people about my channel. Say, hey, check out Adventures Made from Scratch. Subscribe to his channel. You may not like one video, but the next video he uploads you may like. Just depends on what you're into. And so please, please, please share it and get the word out there. Let people know about me. Thank you. I really appreciate it when you guys promote it. I heard a guy the other day telling another guy, hey, you should check out Adventures Made from Scratch. It's really cool. And that just made my day, because this is just something I wanted to do. I'm not doing this to get famous, but I really enjoy doing this type of stuff. And I realize not everybody gets to do this type of stuff. So I'd really like to share these adventures, all these different things that I do in life with other people. And the only way I can do that is if you that already know about me tell more people about me. So please do that. Yeah, this is looking much more promising than it did last year. Last year it was still kind of soggy and wet, but this year it's damp, but it's not soggy. Perfect mushrooms. Now one mushroom I hear a lot of people say is, oh, look at this mushroom I found. And they're talking about these toadstools, and they come in different shapes and sizes. I say, well, what's this? What's this? Is this a mushroom? Can you eat this one? There's another one over there, a little one. Big ones. And when they're fresh, they don't look like that. They look a different color. They're that shape, but they're a different color, and they look a lot softer. These here feel like wood. But when they're young, they're not quite as woody, but they still are. And so they answer the question of whether they're edible or not. Technically, most of them are, but they taste like wood, and they feel like wood. And I don't know why you would want to eat that. I mean, you'd be better off peeling the bark off that tree and eating it, basically. So, I mean, just because you can eat something doesn't necessarily mean that you should. Like I said last year, I didn't find any mushrooms of any kind up here. But, I mean, this was deep water. You couldn't walk across this now. If I had waterproof boots on, I would just walk across that. Last year, this was water from over there all the way across to the other side. And so it was probably at least a foot deeper than this. And all the surrounding area had water in it too. Now, trees that are that dead, that are really rotted like that, I don't usually find morels around those because they've been dead for so long that I'm not a scientist, so I'll just put it in layman's terms. Whatever the morels eat, it must be gone at this point. I don't know, I've just never found one. Usually what you're looking for is like that one there in the background. It still has all the bark on it. It's just starting to fall off, but the tree is dead. And down there by the root ball where the roots broke off, that's a prime location for morels. This tree right here, this is a prime candidate for me to come back and check later because it's just started losing its bark. You can see how the tree is not all bleached white like they get after the bark's been off for a little while. You can kind of see like this tree over here, if I can get to these. See how that's bleached white? That bark's been gone for a little while. This in here just lost it. Now this whole area burned here a few years ago. That's why it's scorched like that. And evidently this tree finally died. It must have lived for a little while. Oh, stepped in a hole. I was hoping to find some oysters or something growing on it, but no luck. I say that right there. I don't know if you can see those. Right there, that whole line all the way up that tree, those are all oysters, but they're all dead and old. I missed them. I missed them by a long ways too. Man, that makes me sad, but I'm going to mark this on my GPS. I'll come back and check it later. You never know when they'll start growing again. And while I'm here, I'm going to check these other trees. And that was a bunch of them too. Now I have no clue how I would get to those. I'd have to make a ladder, but it'd be worth it because there's a whole line that was going up that tree. Man, I can't believe I missed those. I never even hunted in this area last year, where I'm at right now, because like I say, this area was kind of soggy. I didn't see any reason to come back here, but now I kind of regret that decision. I might have been able to find a whole bunch of oysters because they're growing up high on the trees where they're not affected by the flood. Oh well, it happens. Can't get them all. This right here, this is extremely promising. This tree has just blown over within the last year. And there's a good chance that I will come back here in a few weeks and this root ball right here will be covered in mushrooms. And there could be more growing on the ground around here. I found those dead oysters. Now I'm all excited looking for oysters. We'll see if we find any. My windsock got a few, whatever those seed things are in it. That's gonna be fun. Those things. I just walked through a whole bunch of them and got them all over me. Oh what did we find here? Gyrometra. I think it's Caroliniana, like a cross between Carolina and Indiana. There's one there. There's one there. One there. There's a bunch of them. All scattered through here. And they're all small still right now. They'll keep growing. They've just popped up. So we'll let those grow for a little while. I'm still in the same spot, and I ended up finding quite a few more laying around over here of those gyrometras, and I'm going to let them grow. They'll get quite a bit bigger. Last year we found some that were about 4 pounds apiece. They were huge. They were almost the size of a cantaloupe. They were massive. So I'm going to let these grow, but people all the time ask me, how do you find so many mushrooms? And the reason is legwork. And you get out and look. Like, I know morels won't be here for 2 or 3 more weeks. In any significant quantities anyway. They won't be here for a while, but yet here I am out scouting locations and going to some locations that I've been to before, and I'm checking out new locations. Like, does this look like a good spot to find morels? I'm looking for trees, old growth trees with newly dead trees mixed in, and that type of stuff. And that's where I find a lot of my mushrooms, is in areas like that. And so I mark those spots on my GPS, and that way once the mushroom season starts, all I have to do is get out there and pick mushrooms. I check the spots I've already looked at earlier in the season, or actually before the season starts, and mark those locations and just come back and just do a sweep and pick mushrooms. And I put a lot of miles in. I'll hike from miles and miles and miles and pick just a handful of mushrooms sometimes, or none at all. And then I'll come back a week later and I'll hike that same area again. And last year I did that. I hiked about 6 miles, 5 miles it was, and I found just a handful of mushrooms, probably about 2 pounds of mushrooms. Not that many. And then I came back a week later and hiked that same spot again. Didn't find any mushrooms there, but I went a little bit further, about another 1.5 miles, and I found an old dead cottonwood with some gigantic morels growing around it that were about 8-9 inches apiece. And so that was a really cool find, probably the biggest ones I've ever found. Those were the only ones I found there, but that area had flooded, and so I'm going to go back again this year, and hopefully I can find some more big ones, and we'll see what happens. But that's what I do. I just get out and hunt. Now, spots change. Everything changes sometimes. You never know what one spot's going to be like the next year. Sometimes you'll find a bunch one year and hardly any the next year. This spot where I'm at right now, where I found all these gyrometras, the ones I already showed you over there. This spot last year was a little bit overgrown, but you could walk through here fairly good. Now it is just packed full of these trees. Now I'm being careful where I walk, because this is where I found some of my earliest morels last year, was in this area. And I thought there was a chance. There's a lot of good sunlight down here and moisture. I thought there was a chance we might find a couple little itty bitty morels, but it doesn't look like I'm going to have any luck today. But I'm going to keep looking a little bit and be very careful. But in a year or two from now, this area may not grow any mushrooms because it'll be so tightly packed with these trees. You just don't know. So that's why you have to constantly be looking for new spots. And I don't advocate trespassing. Oh, I see some more gyrometras back there. There's 1, 2, several. But anyway, I don't advocate trespassing. Don't go out there and trespass. This is public property where I'm at right now, and the danger in that is that anybody can come pick these mushrooms. However, I am in an area now that is not easily accessible. Most people are not going to come to this spot, and so that's the advantage it has. Now, if I find mushrooms in an easily accessible spot, I'm going to pick them. But like these here, I'm going to let these grow because nobody else is going to find these, most likely. And so I'm just going to let them keep growing. And if somebody else finds them, that's okay. I want everybody to enjoy mushrooms. I don't eat all the mushrooms I find. I give a lot away. I sell some. You can't legally sell ones that you find on public property, but the ones on private property are up for grabs. And so everybody should enjoy mushrooms. This is the absolute tiniest gyrometra I've ever found. It's smaller than a nickel. It's crazy, but there's one there. There's a little bit bigger one there. And then back through the trees, there's a decent sized one actually back there. There's one over there. 2 over there. There's a bunch of them all through here. This is pretty cool. I'm not actually going to walk through there because I don't want to step on any. Actually, yeah, there's a whole bunch of them over there. But I don't want to step on any that are small like that one. And so I'm just going to kind of back out of this area the way I came in and I want to let these babies grow for a little while. I'll come back in about a week or so and see how they're doing and check for morels too. I don't know if you can see him. Let's see if we can get up there without scaring him off. He's soaking up some sun. There we go. There's a nice big snake. Looks like a red-sided garter snake, I think is what they're called. That might be his home right there. He's not huge. He's probably about 2 feet long. It's pretty good size for a garter snake though. He's just chilling in the sun, soaking up some warm rays. It's been chilly the last few days. I won't bother him. Normally I try to catch him, but it's supposed to get cold again, so I'll just let him soak up those rays. Get nice and warm. Caught a lizard the other day. I found some morels here last year because this spot soaks up a lot of sun, but it's too early still. I thought maybe there was a chance I'd find a little baby, but it's really just too early for that. If I come back in a week, I might find something. We'll see you later, guy. It's starting to get really windy out, so I think I'm going to end the vlog here. Then I'll probably put my camera away and keep on exploring for a little while. But it's going to get windier and windier as the afternoon goes on, and you won't be able to hear me anymore over the sound of the wind. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be making a bunch of videos similar to this in the future. And so if you enjoy this, like I said earlier, please subscribe to my channel. Please tell your friends about it. Please share it. Please like this video. Please comment on this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Ask me, I'll answer to the best of my ability. Like I say, I'm not a scientist, but I do have roughly a decade of experience of out hunting mushrooms. And so I may not know all the fancy terms, but I can tell you what I do know. So that's all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Get out there and find an adventure.